Hey, so in your healing journey, which really is just a journey to the center of your heart, I want you to take a look at your fears and how your fears create stuck points that keep you from opening to your unlimitedness, your infinite potential, and your ability to create, command, and declare a healed version of you. By the way, I'm Holly, and I'm a metaphysical teacher of healing and wellness. And I would so appreciate it if you'd be the one today to hit the subscribe button. It would really help me to grow my channel, and I appreciate you so much for doing that for me today. So, like I was saying, these stuck points, they're like roadblocks that keep you from your greatest self, your highest timeline. Can you look at your fears and notice patterns right now? Can you stop and notice what fears continue to play out as repeated fears? The repeated stuck points that ultimately become themes in your life, the fearful stories that block your heart from your own truth, the truth that you are powerful, the truth that you are glorious, that you are boundless and limitless, the truth that you are the divine. You know, like Sarah Landon's counsel says, you are the accomplished. So can you close your eyes for a minute and just visualize your fears melting away? And just pretend for a moment that you've never been afraid of anything and you're no longer afraid of anything at all. Just play pretend and see how your body feels. Keep your eyes closed just for a minute and tune into your fearless body. Just let the fears go. You can have them back later if you want, but right now just notice how your body is kind of exhaling with a feeling like you've never had anything to be afraid of and nothing to ever fear in the future. Just notice how that feels in your body. And if you're like me, your body feels really good in a state of ease and trust, like a gentleness in your body, a peace, and maybe even a little bit of bliss, which is my favorite word. So then the question becomes, how do you stay right here in this fearless place? Well, my friend, it is a choice, and then it is a daily decision. It won't happen on its own, but you have the power to decide again and again, 1,000 times a day, to give yourself the grace to release your fears. And if you can pretend for a minute, you can pretend for 5, and then an hour, and then a half a day, and a day, a week, a month, you can realize that you have the capability to live without fear. And ask yourself, what are these themes, these stuck points that are keeping you from fearless living? If you know what you're afraid of, though, and they come to mind, and don't judge them, just love them, but have the courage to leave them behind. And make sure to journal, meditate, if you need to just, get a better understanding of your fears. But a lot of times little fears are attached to larger fears that are kind of on a grander scale, like fear of death, fear of God, fear of the afterlife, fear of loss, fear of not being enough, or fear of not, being enough, like leaving a legacy or not amounting to something, or, fear of being powerful, fear of being great, or just plain old fear of being small, or kind of fear of your shadow self, just being afraid of your shadow. Whatever your fears are, I encourage you to spend time just talking to them. Your fears will tell you what's going on in there and what they are afraid of. Don't be afraid to challenge old stories about a God that you have to please somehow. These are often in the, kind of the background, lurking in the background of your fears, the idea of earning brownie points to get into heaven, things like that. These are the things that still play out in people's minds. It's like, oh no, have I done enough? It's just, not the way it is now, though. And if you study new thought or quantum spirituality with modern day teachers, you'll know that that's just not relevant, And what do these old stories hold except to leave you feeling small and afraid of your own shadow? I will say that God, source, creator, whatever term you choose, is loving, period. It's not time to walk, but run away from these old stories that keep you stuck, feeling small, feeling like you're in a little corner. And those stories of sin and salvation, those are false, right? You know that, right? I think even Christian churches, probably even Catholics, are feeling all of this stuff and knowing all this stuff. And they're just too afraid to talk about it publicly. They're just too afraid. And they probably have little backroom discussions talking about quantum physics, spirituality, outside one side of their mouth while preaching on Sundays out the other side of their mouth. You know, it's so hard for people to admit that times need to change because they could be risking their jobs, their communities, their reputations. But it's time that people started speaking up. It's time to move past the old stories, people. And you know what story I really want you to move past? You know, this is the one that really gets me. It's the one that says, love the sinner, hate the sin, regarding the LGBTQ community. I'm done with that. If there's one thing that has to go in this world, it's that. I could talk all day about that, but we'll save that for another video. But you know, it really amazes me the pressures that people feel about adhering to a traditional God, at least in public. You know, like keeping up appearances. But I feel like we're ready to move on. It's just about having the courage to stand alone and stand up and stand in your truth. I think you know what I'm saying. And so to bring your fears into the light, you have to be willing to sit with yourself in meditation, stillness, breathing, doing the breath work, journaling. It's all good to sit with the things that make you the most afraid. Whatever you need to do to acknowledge your fears, bring them out into the light of love and move on without them as a lighter, healed version of yourself. You can do this. We are meant for so much more than living afraid. We are meant to leap and dance and sing our way out of our old, worn out, played out fears that keep lurking in the shadows. The reason I'm doing this 1001 Ways to Heal series is to say, if I can move past my fears, so can you. And it's not to say that I'm never afraid and you'll never be afraid, but you no longer need to be. I'm just here to tell you that you are in a loving universe that has your back. Choose and decide. Can you picture your body again without that fear? Can you just feel into that fearless space one more time, just noticing the absence of the fear, allowing your heart to express itself in truth, and especially noticing how calm your body feels in this fearless state. And can you even imagine the healing potential when your body does not have to constantly wear boxing gloves, fighting the fears that come in and out of your psyche all day long? We wonder why we don't heal sometimes. But we have to give our bodies a rest. We have to move past our old stuck points, our old worn out stories that tell us that we are limited and we're not. You know, the stories that say, oh, you know, we're victims, that we're small, or we need somebody to rescue us. These stories just aren't our truth, you guys. They are false. You have everything you need within to be empowered, joyful, fearless, unstoppable. The best part is that you get to decide. You get to choose. The choice is yours. Leave the fears behind, my sweet friend. Your body and mind crave this state, and your body basks in this state, and this beautiful, fearless state is where healing and true joy are possible. Be one with the stream of healing. Be one with the stream of healing. Be fearless. Be fearless. You can do this. You got this. And thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. Like, subscribe, sign up for my 40 Days to Wellness program on my website, hollyshealinghub.net. Take care. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.